If starting coaching made me realize something, is that we all have some common issues that come up very often. One of the issues that comes up most frequently is the idea of confidence and how to cultivate inner confidence. In this video, I want to talk about confidence and maybe give some advice and method for cultivating a strong level of confidence. I might talk a little more about my experience with confidence and give you some personal stories, maybe another time. Today, I want to give you some advice and insights from my own experience and things I have learned. I usually don't talk a lot about confidence because it's a very broad subject that involves so many components. The idea of confidence isn't as simple as it may seem. Confidence is not just one thing, it's more a combination of things. It's about self-trust, it's about self-acceptance, but it's also about an unbothered attitude towards the external, among other aspects. And when I talk about unbothered attitude, it's not as how can I say? It's not in a arrogant kind of way, but more in a self-trust kind of way, if that makes sense. This world is a very materialistic world where we can easily start placing our value in things that don't really matter. We often build our confidence around possessions, achievements, or even appearance. This end up building our confidence around things that don't really matter, mostly for people that we don't know or we don't even care about. And adding to that, we can notice that those things are not even reliable source of confidence because it's very changeable. It's it fluctuates. And because those things are susceptible to change, we can't really base our confidence around these. And this is something that we all know in some way, I think. But I think there's a difference between knowing it and actually processing it and then actually realizing it, you know? So we established that true confidence is not dependent on anything external. it's more, in that sense, an internal feeling of self-worth and a belief in our own abilities. And with this kind of confidence, we can handle anything that comes our way. It's very different from superficial confidence that actually rely on things like material possession. And I want to specify this, like I don't have anything against buying things or acquiring things. It's more that realization that we can't base our worth or our confidence or anything, to be honest, on those external things, because they change so much and they're not stable most of the time. We can't really base anything on it. They can so easily change. And if we base our confidence on these things, our confidence and worth will change as well. It will fluctuate as well. And that's the thing. Genuine confidence stays strong because it is deep within us. And we can understand now that this work begins with us, within. It starts with us, and when we start working within, this starts impacting the world around us. You probably heard it before. When you start working on yourself, or when you start working within, the world around you change, and it's very true. I don't know anyone who works on themselves internally that doesn't see a change in their perspective. And this internal work is transformative. It actually shifts how we see the world and ourselves. Because when we build confidence from within, it's not just about feeling better. It's about seeing things differently. We start to recognize our inner worth and abilities, regardless of external validation. It's very true that maintaining internal confidence can be challenging, especially in a world that constantly overwhelms us with messages of what we should value. This world will try to convince you that you must change something or become something. And it's very easy to lose a part of yourself in that. This world will try to mold you into fitting with everybody else. And that's when you will have to say no. Saying no to what the world makes you think you need. Saying no to what the world makes you think you should be. Saying no to what the world says you should look like. Just imagine being so detached from what the world thinks of you that you become unstoppable. You can never be wrong if you remember this. In all this worldly noise, the only truth is the one coming from your heart. Just follow it. I don't know any instance where I followed my heart and intuition and got it wrong. But I know many, many times when I didn't trust that inner voice and made the wrong choice. You can try to reflect on areas where you may be relying too much on external validation. This is something that now that I realized it, I do every day or every week, but I try to do it regularly because it's a very important work. And I notice how everything changes when you start to do this work. It's very easy to lose yourself, actually. And that's why I try to always reflect and just tune with myself and reflect to make sure that I am not seeking any approval or validation from anything else than myself. And slowly if you start taking these steps towards building a more resilient inner sense of confidence, slowly you can start taking steps toward building a more resilient inner sense of confidence. Remember, your confidence shouldn't be dependent on anything external. It's time to trust and believe in yourself from within. I love this quote from Ralph Emerson that I often referred to when I wanted to pursue music, but I was kind of stuck in law school and I kind of hated that situation, but I just didn't know how to get out of it, and same things for starting coaching, and yeah, every single thing that I would start because I felt it, because I felt that it was time to make a change, and most of the time I would reject this inner knowing, and so I would repeat this quote, and it would remind myself how important it is to actually listen to myself and to to what I know and to what I feel. Most of the time, those hesitation and doubts don't come from us. It comes from how we perceive the outside world. And most of the time, it's also from what we maybe heard from the outside world. And just tuning into our inner self and tuning into our inner knowing can allow us to find the truth and to be more confident about our choices. So I love this quote. It says, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment."